Hi, this is Mia, part 2 of Tuesday, I believe it's the 24th now. I would like to talk about what I can do with the prepping. I was watching, I was talking about a couple weeks ago, Tammy's TV, Tammy Bites TV, Tammy, I used to think, I think she said she has 2 channels. I thought she had one called Tommy's Homestead or something. I thought she had one. That was the one I really remembered. So when people change the names of their channel or have multiple channels that sound really similar, I get really mixed up. I don't know if I'm watching the videos. They have multiple videos a day, and it's not necessarily like that they're talking about anything different, in my opinion. I mean, again, maybe I missed something. But I remember I thought it was one of her videos when they were going through, it might have been someone else who's preparedness-minded, talking about produce or shortage of lettuce. They're like, oh, that's not important. You don't need that. And they're going to be talking about eggs and eggs and eggs and eggs. And they're going to be talking about maybe cooking oil and meat and flour, maybe. And like beverages that are like, I don't know, Gatorades, like kind of like name brand beverages that, in my opinion, all the stuff I just said is not needed. If you are blended family, blended food values, you could get some clean salt, some spices, and some lentils, and raw lentils, and you could get some other kind of sprouts. You could have the people that eat cooked food make lentil soup, and you can have the people that do raw sprout lentils and sprout the other bean sprouts and alfalfa sprouts and do salad. I mean, it ends up being a salad. If the whole salad is sprouts, whatever, it's still green, crunchy, and it's growing, living food that has some nutrients in it. Broccoli or radish sprouts or whatever. And that would fulfill, I mean, they say, I mean, lentils, how much beans are those? They tell people to have a balance with rice and beans. So, to me, people use eggs because of protein. People eat meat because they're used to eating meat. I haven't eaten meat in over 8 years. I think 2014. It's the end of 2014. So maybe that was only 7 years. It feels like 10. I wasn't eating much meat, to tell you the truth. I was only eating raw food. I was doing like raw buffalo patties and aged prosciutto, cold cured lox, salmon. And I got in a car accident. My body wasn't healing, so nobody was really helping me. Everybody was going against me. It was a nightmare. I had to take my health into my own hands. I was already doing mostly raw and had done some extended long fasts where I meant to do raw. I'm still doing raw, but I didn't purposely want to do vegan until I lost my job. After the car accident, I got laid off. And it was a nightmare upon nightmares. Got denied unemployment. It was just a horrible situation. I ended up already having eaten meat before the aged meat, splitting a piece of meat with my kids, splitting a piece of fish with my kids, splitting a steak, cheap 2-pack of steak, splitting it 3 ways. I ate too much rice. I ate too much popcorn, cheap stuff. I got sick off all that stuff. I developed intolerances and allergies, severe allergies, anaphylaxis allergy, type 1 sensitivity, and some of that stuff like gluten-free bread, the tapioca and stuff. I developed allergies, or I already had allergies, so when I did elimination diet, my body was more reactive. Cleanses and fast. So for me, I get offended when someone says you don't need produce. What can you do? You could buy kale, put it in a dehydrator, stick it in some Mylar with the oxygen absorbers. I don't know. If you have the air, get the air sucked out. I don't know. I haven't done it because my kale disappears before I have a chance to bag it up. I used to bag kale up sometimes, but I would take it with me to work. But that was still like within 24 hours. I got lost in my bag somewhere. I'd put oil and spices and rags, nutritional yeast and stuff on it. I had cut out salt and I added it back to my diet, so my weight is now back this morning at 178 or 179. That's really high for me. I had finally got down to 173 after cutting out salt and sodium, soy, Bragg soy, liquid amino. I had cut out the noodles and the nut butters, and then I went to some restaurants on the Western Shore and got some noodles several times and just felt so happy, got so much work done. And I'm sad because my balance of trying to eat fresh fruits and vegetables and dehydrated food that I make, I went to these places and got a taste for salt again and got a taste for some processed food that I don't believe is as in the purest state as I want. So having those noodles and saying I'm never going to eat this again, I'm never going to do this, and then watching my weight shoot up 2-3 pounds, 1 to 2-3 pounds a day. I just got the noodles yesterday that I just ordered. I had got some from Whole Foods. It's just been a mess with my relapsing on the noodles and not having the money for this stuff. What else do I have? I have some untoasted nori sheets. I do have some coconut sheets that you can make like raw enchilada. Revolution. They have a book. I don't know if they have it. They have two. They have a enchilada blanco or blanca. It was so good. It's just like, I don't know, it's like the perfect combination in these wraps. Like the white sauce inside and some kind of walnut or something that tastes a little bit like chicken enchilada. Nuts. Not everyone can eat nuts. Seeds. I have flax seeds. I was supposed to be making flaxseed crackers. I had took the pulp off some cranberry carrot juice, and I made it into, I think I messed up. What did I add to it? I made that into little cookies, and I've only nibbled on those. I've got some cashews in there. I didn't flavor them. I have some in the dehydrator. I had these flax things, or these banana breads that I messed up. I have to throw them away because they're stuck to the wax paper. I thought I could somehow, I don't feel like eating the wax paper, so I'm just going to discard that. I get it out of the dehydrator so that it could be a fire hazard. So a piece of that blows into the heating element. There's some lion's mane mushrooms that I had got sick eating too many mushrooms. If you guys heard me maybe a couple months ago, and I had put some of them in bags in the freezer. I had some fresh green beans and broccoli. I think I ate all the broccoli. I had some fresh green beans and broccoli, and I put some of the green beans unblanched into the freezer. I think I better check. I did the same with cranberries. I think there's some cranberries in there from the food pantry that have been in there since like Thanksgiving. I gotta go in there, discard that right away. Bottled water. I have an allergy to city tap water or dirty well water. Mainly city water with chemicals and not just chlorine, chloramines, chlorine, detergents, water softeners, get this chemical stabilizers and stuff to help keeping pipes from corroding. I had discovered that on my own after going to allopathic clinic for many years. I had Medicaid. I was told before, with your insurance, you're too poor for us to refer you to a specialist. Too poor to refer me to a specialist? Who cares? Refer me to a specialist, and when I make the appointment, tell me how much it is and whether or not my insurance is going to cover it. Fool, if you're my primary care, the specialist will be paid for. If not, give me a choice. Because without that referral, I have no choice. I'm shut down. So my health was shut down. Even today, I feel like that's illegal, but even today my health is shut down because people decide not to follow through. I've even gone to this one clinic, tried to pay cash to get my teeth deep cleaned, and they sent me away. And I was like, you guys are idiots. Like, complete idiots. Like, it wasn't even just that. They were really mean. And I had that said up many times having Medicaid. Hey, you're a Medicaid patient. Like, that should be between me and the billing staff. Like, you shouldn't come in and automatically just see that as a Medicaid patient. I run my own clinic and do my own admin work, so I just want to know what insurance you have so that I can look it up before your appointment for out-of-pocket costs and the day of to make sure the same plan is still active, like you're supposed to do. I'm the provider, so, but I'm not judging them. For the first, 6 years of my clinic, I only had Medicaid patients, so that's a whole nother story. Back to the water not being treated. They told me I had allergies. They didn't even do a swab for the strep. I had started drinking the spring water. I was born on a well water, and I had started drinking city water in Lansing. I was getting sick all the time until I started drinking the filtered water from the one store over on the corner in East Lansing. And what was that road? Hagedorn and Grand River Road or something. What is that road called? I have the how do I say this? I have the little Berkey water filter. Those are abnormally expensive. All of the sizes. I have the my partner's gonna wonder why I didn't take a nap. I have the I guess I don't have a Brita picture here. I'm trying to think if I had another water. Oh, I have a Life Straw somewhere, and what are those $5 or $10 ones? Sawyer mini filter. I haven't used all three of those. I've used the one Berkey. A few years ago, the Berkeys, they were expensive. Ours was a piece of junk. It was like over $400, and the prices have just steadily rose in the past 3 years. And so at the house in Oregon, it just puddled everywhere. That could just ruin the entire house, the cabinets, anything you have in the drawers, in the cabinets underneath. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. And these people try to refuse to give us a part, saying that we didn't follow the video. And it was just like the seal. I don't know. It just totally messed up, and it grossed my kids out because there was this seal on the bottom. It wasn't a solid state metal, and it was like coming into the water, and you could look inside, and it was like this film of black in the water. That's disgusting, guys. It wasn't because it wasn't clean. It was kind of new, and I had that happen with a dehydrator. Just all my dehydrators from place are just broken. It broke into pieces. Motor broke on them. Over $1,000 is supposedly stainless steel. Not Omega. What's the brand name? I can't remember the brand name. The one that they use professionally or in the homes. Excalibur. I just had nightmares that I've been using Excalibur as I've had other dehydrators break too. So I've been putting fruit. I've seen bananas. I heard there's some issue with the lettuce. Banana shortage. There's always some kind of disease with things. Olive oil, they said shortage. I'm almost out of olive oil. This is the first. I was getting bottles and bottles of it. 2019, prior to this year, like 2021 and beyond, I was feeling like I was going through bottles a week. And I don't know what happened. Since I don't do all vegan, some of my supplements, even plant-based ingredients inside of the capsule. I only have one that I know of that's made of pork. That's disturbing for me, but I found that the supplement is really helpful. So that is the pros and cons of maintaining a stash of certain items that are natural, like extremely natural, like you almost feel like, oh, everybody should use this non-threatening thing. Not everybody, but I have also some Chinese herbs, and I have allopathic nurse practitioners and counselors trying to be like, why don't you take this prescription psych med that has all these black box warnings? Well, I've used one of those once, and I had a really bad reaction, really bad mental meltdown, and I don't even remember the provider checking in. I had to go to them and say, I can't deal with it. And at the time, I wanted to drink one weekend. So I said, you're supposed to take it every day. It's like, well, I want to drink sometimes, so I was told not to drink. And with that depression, for one, when my mom was dying and whatever, um, I felt like personally that I had been around my ski club group of buddies, even if they weren't my friends, but that's the group in general. And we had 4 or 5 buses go out to Colorado. I feel like that sense of community really helped with my depression. When I was about 18, 19, I felt like that was number one, being active at this group, traveling, seeing other people. I mean, unfortunately, doing alcohol back then was a depressant, but if I were to got rid of alcohol, which I have done currently, and be able to be a sense of a community, I feel like that could help a whole lot of people. And like at my first video today, that sense of community can be messed up when there's people that can seem against you or want to criticize you and use you as their punching bag, their verbal punching bag, and just be completely disrespectful and act in a way also, my veins is popping out, when you're being watched by someone else versus alone. So seeing that two-faced. Oh, when you're alone talking to me, you say one thing, and when you're in public or around another observer, whether you bring someone or I bring somebody, you're a completely different person. That really scares me. And if I bring up something, hey, for the past 3 weeks you said such and such, and I found that insulting or inappropriate, unprofessional, and they'll be, oh, well, I didn't really say that. And they say, oh, you call me a liar? So I tossed all night and day because I was delusional. I tossed and worried and wanted to bite my nails and, couldn't focus on my work, wanted to just walk around the track, but I couldn't because my ankle's all busted. Try to release the stress and the worry over how someone else is treating you and how you feel like it's injustice. It's unjust, I should say. Inhumane. Downright abusive. Okay, guys, let's just use the word. Narcissistic abuse disorder. That's a real thing. So these people need to be evaluated. People think you're cute because you have an accent, or you're tall, dark, male. People think you're cute. Listen, I don't like your behavior. I don't care what you look like. Joy to the world, hallelujah to you. But you don't go around scapegoating and abusing people. I mean, there's people who want to be the top. They want to be the beauty queen. Go be the beauty queen. But why don't you compete with people that want to actually compete? Don't compete with me. I'm not trying to compete with you. I want to be peace, love, hold hands. Kumbaya. Around a campfire. Drinking pure spring water. Out of glass. Jars, for that matter. Reusable straws. Bring your own straws. BYO straw. Make sure you get that soft part on the end so you don't hurt your mouth and teeth. I feel like my time is limited. I had a problem with mushrooms. I might have had a problem with one of the seaweeds that I have, so I'm really not dealing with that. Any kind of powders that you can get, even though this stuff would probably not retain the nutrition. I have a couple packs of freeze-dried fruit powder. I added it to my lemonade yesterday. Actually, it was the day before. I was sipping on that lemonade for 24 hours. Seriously, I gotta go wash the cup. That could provide some nutrients, some fruit, and I'm thinking I'll go look and see. I don't even know the names of these fruits. Not just moringa, that's like a leaf. I have these different powder. I had that too, chlorella, spirulina. I don't know if I have the chlorella. Some kind of dry or freeze-dried type of thing. Some raw food is like, don't eat oil, don't drink, don't eat freeze-dried. That's too processed. Don't do this, don't do that. And I'm like, you're talking about vegan and raw, and had to go outside and pick the stuff from my own, trees to eat it within 3 minutes of picking it. And I was like, do you realize you're really buying your stuff from a grocery store, whether it's organic or not? It's used chicken poop and cow manure, and you're talking about, I don't have anything that touches any kind of meat. I don't wear leather. I don't do this. Like, you drive a car, how many animals do you potentially run over? How many birds did you disrupt? How much noise did you make? How many bugs? Oh, you won't eat honey, but how many bugs are on your windshield after you just drove back from the woods? I didn't kill the bees eating honey. Eating a couple tablespoons of honey a day. So people need to really look at what their food source, and if you're in a situation where you could go to the grocery store and people start to talk, preppers start talking, 25 years ago, 100, 2,000, 500 years ago. Now people say, oh, look at this stuff in the grocery store, price too high, people stealing stuff, oh, there's no eggs, oh, there's no whipping cream, oh, the price of turkey and chicken and everything is, I told someone, was it $37 or $17 for chicken? Small, cheap, non-organic chicken, all these different things. So what did we do? For me, the price of everything went up. The electricity bill, all this stuff went up. I got worried. I didn't calm down. I didn't wake up right. I didn't get enough sleep. I didn't do my billing. Saw patients, didn't finish all my lab orders and all this stuff. So I didn't do the billing yet because I wanted to do that last. Maybe I should do the billing first, as soon as I see the patient. You probably should, in case you have to collect co-insurance. So going through life, not working, and seeing zero money in your bank account. If you did $1,000 at work this month or this week, getting $1,000, pay your rent. If you do raw foods, what do you already eat? What can be dehydrated? What can be cured? What can be sun-dried? What can be bought a certain way? What can you grow? What can last in your fridge? Those little heads of lettuce that have the dirty roots on the bottom. Again, pre-dried seaweeds, a sprouter, water stores. If you needed to use bottled water, even if you have stored tap water in jars and jugs, and you were to put that through a filter. My Berkey one only does like a pint a day. The one that I bought is like a travel one. It has all these plastic pieces. I'm really scared. I'm gonna have to make a box for it or something. Your supplementation, your medications. Even if you do raw, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't need iron or different things, B12 or amino acids, whatever your prescriptions from your providers are. I had some other glycerites that may not really be raw. And I don't do tinctures. I could probably if I did tinctures, I could do some raw tinctures. I could probably do some vinegar ones, so I'll look into that. I learned that in school, but that was not the priority. The priority was homemade tinctures, not glycerites and vinegar expressed herbal remedies. I wish we had done more of that, because the tinctures seems pretty easy. I mean, they can teach you how to do that in 2 minutes, and it takes a few weeks to get the results you want, but once you make it and mix it and stick it on your little jar, clean jar on the shelf, I mean, you gotta look into that. Sauerkraut, that's another thing. You get some cabbage. What if you don't like sauerkraut? I got some cabbage in there. What if you have vegetables and fruit in there that's been in there and you got a spot of mold? My partner is saying, get rid of the stuff in the fridge. You could get sick because the food in the fridge is infiltrating the food in the fridge. So what do? Like say today you only have $20 and you need olive oil. The olive oil at the store I was looking on Instacart, $36, $37, $25. These weren't like big cans. These were like jars and like little, you get the name brand ones with the cute little bottle like that, and that maybe 8 or 16 ounces is going to be $20, okay? But the regular ones, store brands, the no name brands, you want an extra virgin olive oil. What if you're one of those raw foodists that doesn't believe in that? What if you had some of that? You've kept in a cool, dark spot, so if and when something happens when you need calories, because the other things you have, if you're eating whole-based produce only, and that stuff disappears, or that stuff is not available to be grown, or if you have it available but you can't afford it, whether the price is high or not. If something costs $1 and you don't have $1, you can't afford it. So what could you do to supplement with a high fat, high calorie, so that you can go on your day, or you could run to your bug out location? Raw food, bug in and bug out location. Do you have a garden? If you don't have a garden, can you do an indoor garden? Sprouts, even herbs. What if you had to take all your herbs, sage and rosemary and a bunch of stuff, and make a soup? Like I'm talking like cold temperature soup. you had an outdoor burner and you could warm up some water and put it in a thermos and mix it with some flax seeds and a little oil and some onion. Maybe you had some dried garlic and onion sitting around, not going bad. Isn't it amazing? Onion's so wet, but if you keep the seal on it outside the fridge and it's still good. Oh, sweet potato yams. You can make little chips, put them in a jar, dry them real well, put them in a jar to oxygen absorbers, put a masking tape, write the date, write what it is. You could say the ingredients, whether you put salt on it or not, whether you just put cayenne on it or not. Some of that could be rehydrated. You could do, oh shoot, that reminds me, you could do zucchini bacons, same thing. You could Mylar bag that stuff. You could sprinkle that on a salad made of, you could have some like wet seaweed that you rehydrate, some nori, and you could put like fresh sprouts and break up some of this other stuff and break up some flax crackers over that and drizzle it with vinegar and olive oil. And you could have a fresh salad. And if the rest of your family eats cooked foods or canned goods, you could have that, and they could have canned peaches with, ravioli. And that can all be done without electricity, I think. What did I say? Yeah, some of the stuff were like flax crackers. You would have made it in advance, and you would have stored that. Peace, guys. Just some ideas. Tell me what you're going to eat, or what you could eat, or what you would eat if you don't have a choice. And whether or not, let's just say one thing. If you did cut out meat or couldn't eat cheeses, do you have any enzymes around that have something that's you're not allergic to? Like if I'm allergic to corn and rice, make sure it doesn't have any allergies. Do you have an enzyme that if the stuff hit the fan and you had to flee, or you were stranded at work and someone was passing out sandwiches with meat in them, and that's the only thing you're going to eat, or bread? Do you have any else enzymes, even a couple thrown in your glove box or your purse with a little sticky note saying digestive enzymes that you could eat? And it may not be a good reaction, but you may have to hold on to that sandwich until you think it's going to go bad. Like, don't make it go bad, but you're out in the snow like that Pennsylvania Turnpike, was that Virginia, that issue that they had. I'm telling you guys, what would you eat if you had to? What if you were stuck and you're on the way to a bug out location and there's a roadblock and there's bandits and you had to flee your car and run through the woods with a fishing rod? Would you rather eat the fish? Do you have something to light a fire to cook that? Do you have a way to keep a container to throw up in a tree to keep the bears from getting to it? So just think about what you would do, what you would like to do, and think about what you do now. That salad sounded good. That's not a bug out or a emergency salad. That's something we can make and save money and know what we're putting in stuff.